with more than 90 million passengers annually, and recognized as the world's busiest airport, we present to you Hartsfield-Jackson International Atlanta Airport.
Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. The statistics are legendary. Nearly 90 million passengers a year pass through her gates, more than 2,800 flights a day, over 400,000 pieces of luggage a week, 5 operational runways, over 17,000 airfield lights igniting a doorway to the world. For more than a decade, Hartsfield-Jackson has been recognized as the busiest airport in the world. As a result, all eyes of every aviator and airport administrator across the globe look to learn, study, and scrutinize its choices. Still, Hartsfield-Jackson remains the world leader in domestic and international travel by innovating, exploring, and expanding the boundaries of transportation, communication, technology, and more. General Manager, Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, Benjamin DaCosta.
At Hartsfield-Jackson, we continue to incorporate environmentally friendly features and initiatives into the design and construction of our facilities. Examples include the use of an overland conveyor to transport 17.6 million cubic yards of embankment to construct our runway 1028, obtaining LEED certification for the design of Fire Station 33, and the use of accelerated construction techniques to open runways to air traffic much sooner.
Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport is located on what was once the Atlanta Speedway, a racetrack built in 1909 by Coca-Cola founder and one-time Atlanta Mayor Asa Candler. The site was chosen because it is one of the few relatively flat areas in the region. The track would cost $400,000 to build and open up on November 9, 1909. This shows the location of the original racetrack and its relation to the current layout of Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. The first scheduled airline service from Atlanta occurred on September 15, 1926, when a Florida Airways plane departed for Jacksonville and Miami. Unfortunately, the airline quietly ceased operations only 9 months later, leaving Atlanta and its new airport without airline service. However, in August 1927, New Orleans-based St. Tammany Gulf Coast Airways began airline service to Atlanta, followed by Pitcairn Aviation in 1928. In 1946, Candler Field was renamed Atlanta Municipal Airport. The 1932 terminal had reached its capacity after the war as traffic increased and larger 4-engine aircraft entered service. The first jet engines had been developed during the war, and airlines anticipated the arrival of jet airliners within the next decade. Until it could be determined what type of terminal would be needed to accommodate the next generation of airliners, the city created an inexpensive temporary terminal from a Quonset-style war surplus hangar. The facility was used from May 1948 until the true jet engine terminal was opened in May 1961. After nearly a decade of planning and several years of construction, Atlanta's modern jet-age terminal opened on May 3, 1961. The complex was the first in the world to be built specifically for the jet aircraft. At the time, it was the largest passenger terminal in the country, covering 60 acres with nearly a mile of concourses and 48 gates with parking for 52 aircraft. The enormous light-filled lobby and modern architecture was a far cry from the cramped and dreary temporary terminal that it preceded. Atlanta Mayor William B. Hartsfield, on the left, received the flag of the city of Atlanta from Delta President and founder C.E. Woolman at opening ceremonies on May 3rd. Mayor Hartsfield was one of the Atlanta airport's greatest proponents and was also responsible for selecting the site of the airport. Atlanta Municipal Airport was renamed in his honor shortly after his death in 1971. On September 21, 1980, Atlanta's enormous new passenger terminal, the largest in the world, opened for business. Dubbed Midfield because of its central location between the runways, the complex is still in operation today, although it has been expanded through the years. The terminal was built around a simple, functional design: 2 symmetrical landside terminals connected to 4 remote parallel concourses via an underground transportation mall featuring moving sidewalks and a futuristic shuttle system. The design also allowed the airport to extend the underground mall to the east and add more concourses as traffic increased over the years. By the 1980 standards, the facility was nothing short of revolutionary. 30 years later, it is still the largest passenger transfer hub in the world. This is Hartsfield-Jackson International Atlanta Airport.